Welcome snoozy friends to the channel's new playlist Snooze in Facts. Today we would be drifting towards our first planet called Mercury. Get to know about its journey. What is it made of? And the impact of Mercury on our lives. Close your eyes, relax, and let's start our journey. The silent world closest to the sun. Imagine yourself floating, weightless, calm, and quiet, drifting toward the first planet, far beyond the noise of Earth. The stars are everywhere, glimmering like tiny promises in the dark. There's no rush here, no gravity to pull you down, just the soft breath of the universe and the gentle hum of your own imagination. In the distance, a golden glow warms the edge of your view. It is the sun, vast, powerful, ancient, pouring light into space. And there, just beside that mighty star, a small, silent world circles, a shimmering stone in the light. This is Mercury, the first planet, the closest to the sun. Tiny, cratered, and quiet, a place of shadows and sunlight, heat and cold, stillness and time. Tonight, let's drift there. Let's visit Mercury, not with rockets or metal ships, but with thought, wonder, and peace. Ahead of you glows the Sunday, bright and ancient, over 4.6 billion years old. It burns with nuclear fire, fusing hydrogen into helium, pouring light and heat into every corner of the solar system. And there, hugging closest to this blazing star, spins a small and ancient world, Mercury. It's the innermost planet of our solar system, the first stone from the sun, just over 4,800 kilometers wide. Mercury is slightly larger than Earth's moon. No moons of its own, no rings, just itself, bare and solitary, circling the sun every 88 Earth days. As you drift closer, Mercury looks like a dusty coin, scorched, pitted, and still. But inside this quiet shell is a world rich with history, wonder, and mystery. And tonight, in this journey, you'll walk upon it slowly, softly. Your feet meet stone, gently, silently. You've landed on a world with no atmosphere to carry sound, no clouds, no breeze, no sky blue hue. Mercury's exosphere, a thin scattering of particles, is too light to protect or insulate. It's made mostly of oxygen, sodium, hydrogen, helium, and potassium, all floating free, too thin to form weather or pressure. The sun is nearly 3 times closer here than it is on Earth. Looms huge in the black sky, its light sharp and direct. With no air to scatter it, the sky remains pitch black, even at midday. Beneath your boots, the crust is rocky and grey. Most of what you see is silicate rock, rich in minerals like pyroxene and feldspar, mixed with dust from countless meteor impacts. You step among impact craters, remnants of ancient collisions from the early solar system. Many are named after artists, musicians, and writers. Beethoven, Tolstoy, Rembrandt, reminders of the human spirit, watching from far. And even though Mercury is quiet now, the ground tells stories of lava flows long cooled, of shattered rock melted and cracked, of time measured in billions of years. Here, a day is a different kind of thing. Mercury rotates once every 59 Earth days. But because of its unusual orbit and spin resonance, one full solar day, from sunrise to sunrise, takes 176 Earth days. A day that's longer than its year. That means one side of the planet bakes for months under searing sunlight, temperatures rising to 430 degrees Celsius 800 degrees Fahrenheit, while the night side freezes to -180 degrees Celsius -290 degrees Fahrenheit. You stand in the twilight zone, between the extremes. Here, dawn creeps slowly across the land, the horizon glowing amber as the sunlight moves millimeter by millimeter. You watch as shadows stretch along the ground, long and dark, untouched by air or time. It's here in this peaceful sliver of Mercury that life feels softest. A brief space between flame and frost, motion and stillness. Your body relaxes. The stone beneath you holds heat from the days before. And time seems to breathe, slowly, like the planet itself. In a twist of cosmic paradox, Mercury, the planet closest to the Sun, holds frozen water ice. How can this be? At the North and South poles, inside deep craters that never see sunlight, radar instruments have detected bright reflections, signs of ice. These polar regions, called permanently shadowed regions, lie in darkness that sunlight cannot reach due to Mercury's small axial tilt, just 0.034 degrees. That's almost perfectly upright. So the sun never climbs high in the polar sky. Here, in these cold traps, the temperature remains below -170 degrees Celsius -274 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to preserve ice for millions, even billions of years. Scientists believe comets may have delivered this water, crashing into the surface and leaving behind a gift. The building block of life, preserved in darkness. You imagine it now. Gleaming frost hidden beneath shadowed stone. Never touched by warmth, never moved by wind. A memory of motionless water, resting in the quietest corners of a fiery world. Mercury's rhythm is different from Earth's. Quiet, mathematical, and strange. While Earth orbits the Sun in a nearly perfect circle, Mercury follows an eccentric elliptical path. At its closest, it is about 46 million kilometers from the Sun. At its farthest, nearly 70 million kilometers. This changing distance means Mercury moves faster when it's closer, and slower when it's farther away. At its fastest, it speeds through space at about 170,000 kilometers per hour. The quickest orbital velocity of any planet. Because of this orbit, and Mercury's slow rotation, the Sun does something odd in its sky. At some points, the Sun rises, then appears to pause, then sets, and then rises again before continuing its journey across the sky. You imagine standing still, as this strange celestial ballet unfolds above you. It is not a mistake, it is resonance. Mercury is tidally locked in a 3:2 resonance, which means it rotates 3 times on its axis for every 2 orbits around the Sun. Like a music box turning on just the right beat. A planet locked in time with its star. You smile. Even in a place so quiet. Everything is moving in rhythm. Just slower than you are used to. You walk across a vast plain. It feels smoother than the cratered highlands. The rock here tells a different story. One of fire, not collision. Billions of years ago, Mercury was volcanic. Much of its surface was shaped by ancient lava flows. Enormous outpourings of molten rock that spilled across the surface, flooding craters and carving flat lowlands. Scientists call these regions smooth plains, and they cover about 40% of Mercury's surface. You reach one of the largest, the Caloris Basin, a crater over 1,500 kilometers wide, likely formed by a massive impact and later filled with lava. It's one of the biggest impact basins in the solar system. The rock underfoot is dark, dense, basaltic, volcanic in origin. No volcanoes remain active here. The lava has long cooled, but the surface remembers. You notice cracks and folds in the ground, gentle ridges that wrinkle like cooling skin. These are called lobate scarps, caused by the planet shrinking as it cooled. Mercury's core solidified over time, and the crust contracted, pulling the skin of the planet into folds. Even in silence, the world still holds echoes of motion and heat. Long after Mercury had cooled, another fire reached it, not volcanic, but human. The first visitor was Mariner 10, launched in 1973. It flew past Mercury 3 times, mapping just under half of the surface. For decades afterward, that was all we knew. Then came Messenger, a spacecraft launched by NASA in 2004. It orbited Mercury from 2011 to 2015, mapping the entire surface, studying its core, exosphere, and magnetism. Messenger found evidence of water ice, hollows in craters that defied explanation, and confirmed Mercury's magnetic field, something scientists never expected from such a small world. Eventually, low on fuel, Messenger gently descended, crashing onto Mercury's surface, leaving behind no sound, but a legacy of knowledge. And soon, a new mission will follow, BP Colombo, a joint project from ESA and JAXA. It's on its way now, with instruments to study the planet even more deeply when it arrives in 2025. You look out across the rock and imagine it. A quiet world visited only by whispers of humanity. Gentle machines built to listen, to orbit, to remember. You walk once more, your steps slow and float-like. Gravity here is only 38% of Earth's, meaning you are lighter, almost drifting. A jump that would lift you a few inches on Earth would carry you high here. Ahead, the sun is beginning to dip toward the jagged edge of the horizon. But it is not a sunset like those you've seen on Earth. There are no clouds to catch the light. No birds calling. no trees shifting in wind. Just a great golden orb slowly sinking. Its light falling more directly, its rays stretching across a surface polished by eons. Even the shadows seem to stretch in reverence. Because of Mercury's thin exosphere, solar wind particles, charged particles from the Sun, directly strike its surface. These interactions release atoms from the crust, creating a tenuous cloud that surrounds the planet, but too thin to call a sky. You sit quietly and watch. The Sun here is twice as wide as seen from Earth, and 7 times brighter. And yet, it does not burn you in this dream. It simply warms, gently and generously. Then, it fades. Beneath your feet lies something vast and heavy, Mercury's core, a hidden engine of metal and motion. It is the largest core relative to planet size in the solar system. While Earth's core makes up about 55% of its radius, Mercury's takes up more than 80%. That's like a pearl with a shell far too thin for its heart. This dense core is mostly iron, possibly mixed with sulfur. And surprisingly, despite Mercury's small size, the core is partially molten. This molten iron churns ever so slowly. And from that motion, a secret force is born, a magnetic field. Yes, Mercury has won. Only 4 planets in the solar system do: Mercury, Earth, Jupiter, and Saturn. But Mercury's is unique. It's weak, only 1% as strong as Earth's, and slightly offset, stronger in the north than in the south. Still, it's enough to trap charged particles and shape a small magnetosphere, a kind of invisible bubble in space. Messenger found that this magnetosphere is dynamic, changing constantly as it interacts with the solar wind, streams of particles that race out from the Sun. You imagine those particles now, golden threads, dancing past the planet, some diverted, some absorbed. Even in stillness, Mercury is part of the great electrical web of space. You press your palm to the ground and feel not heat or cold, but something deeper. The quiet hum of a planet still alive, not with life, but with motion. A world that speaks not in sound, but in fields and forces. You have walked far now. And slowly, as Mercury turns ever so gently, the Sun begins its final descent. The surface cools quickly. With no atmosphere to trap warmth, the heat of the day slips into the stars. Soon, the temperature will fall to -180 degrees Celsius, colder than any winter on Earth. You retreat to a crater wall, sitting in the shadow as dusk lengthens across the plain. From here, you watch the edge of light retract, soft and slow, until only a thin golden rim remains. Then, like a sigh, it vanishes. Darkness. Not darkness like night on Earth, with its soft blue haze and street lamp glow. This is true cosmic night, sharp and absolute. And yet, it's not frightening. Above, the stars shine now brighter than ever, thousands, millions, all steady in the airless sky. You see constellations, nebulas, maybe even the soft band of the Milky Way. No atmosphere means no flicker, no blur, just sharp, brilliant light from across the universe. In this darkness, Mercury becomes a quiet observatory, a place to remember that you live among stars. And with each breath, you feel a little lighter, a little more still, a little more a part of the vastness around you. As you rest, you think about how Mercury moves, not just across the sky, but through time itself. It was formed over 4.5 billion years ago, from the same cloud of dust and gas that gave birth to the Sun and other planets. Back then, it was likely larger, but it may have lost part of its outer shell in a giant collision, or through early solar wind stripping its lighter elements away. What remains is a world of metal and memory. Every wrinkle on its surface, every collapsed cliff and frozen crater, is a page in Mercury's ancient story. And its motion continues. It orbits the Sun faster than any other planet, completing a year in just 88 Earth days. Its path isn't just fast, it's also strange. Because of Mercury's elliptical orbit and proximity to the Sun, Einstein's theory of general relativity was needed to explain the way its orbit shifts over time, a phenomenon called perihelion precession. Mercury helped us prove that gravity doesn't just pull. It bends space and time itself. So even from this tiny, quiet world, we've learned the shape of the cosmos. You breathe in slowly. You are sitting on a planet that helped unlock the nature of reality. And it does not boast. It does not shout. It simply turns, steadily, around its star. You lie down on the cool, silent ground, eyes toward the sky. Time here feels like a soft fog, slow, stretched, weightless. You could stay forever. There is no rush. No ticking clock. You are part of something older than memory, a planet where days take months, where light and shadow move in slow ceremony. And yet, you are also a traveler. Soon, you will float again, back into the stars. Back toward Earth and the rhythm of your own life. But something will stay with you. You have touched a world born in fire and wrapped in silence. You have felt the stillness between day and night. You have listened to the whisper of metal beneath stone. You are lighter now. More open. Closer to the stars, and somehow, closer to yourself. Above you, Mercury continues its silent path, forever near the Sun, yet forever unknown to most. But not to you. You have walked its dust. Sat in its dusk. Listened to its hum. You are part of its story now. And as you drift into sleep, deeper, slower, softer, let Mercury hold you in its gravity.